Hello there, and welcome to another episode of Gotham Talk. Season 1, episode 20. This one's called Under the Knife. Very good one. Yep, really good. A lot happening, as per usual, so many different storylines going on. But what's really kind of coming to the fore as we're getting towards the end of this season is this whole ogre storyline. So this serial killer played by Milo Ventimiglia. I wasn't particularly sold on the story in the last episode when it started to rear its head. I was a bit like, what are they doing here? Where are they going? But with this one, now that we kind of get a backstory to this guy, they fill it out. We kind of see who he is a bit more, why he does what he does, or how he became who he became. I feel a bit more invested in the storyline. I feel a bit more interested in it. You can kind of have some sympathy for this guy. That obviously goes completely out the window when you look at what he's doing, but you see where it comes from, and the fact that he has this father who clearly loves him still adds a bit of humanity there. So he goes to basically kill Barbara Keene, thinking that she's a loved one of Gordon. And he kind of meets not the person he was expecting, I guess. Someone who isn't still with Gordon for a start. And she interests him in a way that I think he identifies with her or sees something of himself in her. So, yeah, that was an interesting plot development. Like I said, I've seen the first season before, and I think the first time around when I watched this, I wasn't quite that keen on this idea. But watching it the second time around, kind of knowing where it's going, but also just being able to soak it up a bit more, I do like it. I like this development. I think, it's an interesting one. So there's that. We get Bruce Wayne and Selina Kyle trying to learn more about this guy that Reggie told them about in the previous episode before Selina Kyle chucked him out of a window. They're tracking this guy down at Wayne Corp called Bunderslaw. He's the one who hired Reggie. But the main thing with them is really a few conversations about what Selina did and how Bruce basically has made a promise that he's never going to cross that line. Obviously, if you're a Batman fan, you know what that's all about. That's the one line he doesn't cross, and unless in particular interpretations, we can't say that Batman has never killed or doesn't kill outright. In particular interpretation, he doesn't, and I'm happy to see them following that particular interpretation because that's the one I've always personally engaged with more. But yeah, there's a nice little moment between Bruce and Alfred just before they go to the ball when Bruce is kind of being mocked by Alfred for kind of choosing to almost go on a date with Selina to the ball. Not mocked so much, but more kind of lovingly toyed with. I think Alfred's just happy to see that Bruce is trying to date, although it's not really a date, obviously. Alfred doesn't know that they're going to do some undercover work, but as far as he's concerned, it's a date, and that makes him happy. So, yeah, I like seeing that reaction. Corey Michael Smith as Edward Nygma in this really excels. I think this is the best he's been in this series so far. We've had a few moments. I think, beginning of the series, I wasn't that sold on this guy. Started to warm to him a bit in some of the episodes around the middle of the series. Here, gotta say, I'm sold. Definitely on his performance. When he stabs the cop who was abused, the woman who's Miss Kringle, he stabs the cop. His reaction, just from a performance side of things, Corey Michael Smith's reaction, absolutely brilliant. Really buy into his emotional state in that moment, and I think that's because of him. He really does sell me on that, and that's juxtaposed just a moment later with a moment between Penguin and his mother, in which Penguin gets really emotional because Sal Maroni, Don Maroni has essentially just given all this information dump to Penguin's mum, telling her what her son has done, what her son is capable of. And yeah, that was a good moment as well. Not good in the sense that, hey, that was nice, but like just well played between the three actors, but also just pretty heavy. I think it's also the first moment where Penguin's mum, to me, has felt like a human being rather than just this weird, kooky woman that has a bit of a weird relationship with her son. This is the first time that, for me personally, she's felt like a human being. When Maroni does all this kind of unloading to her, and you see her reaction, you see how much that hurts her, you realise actually, yeah, underneath all that weirdness, that there is a person in there, there's a human being in there who loves her son. And maybe living in denial, but even so, that's because of the love for her son. And then, like I say, we get this scene just after the one in which Ed stabs this guy between Penguin and her mother and his mother. So it's that raw emotion of Edward Nygma after what he's done, and the raw emotion of Penguin when he realises how much his mum has been hurt by Maroni, something which he takes out on some hapless delivery man just moments later. But yeah, so great stuff there. Gordon and Bullock doing what Gordon and Bullock do, investigating the ogre. They don't get many huge scenes in this with regards to like their usual stuff. They're just really caught up in this investigation. So a lot of the other stuff around them is really what stands out in this episode. I like the way this episode is edited as well. It's really, really well done. Like when they're doing some questioning of the ogre's dad, and then it's kind of intercut with how they're relaying that information that he's told them to Captain Essen. And yeah, just the way it's edited, the pace just kind of booms along in this one. So yeah, very good episode. What can I say? There's not a right lot to criticise about it, to be honest. I'm not sure. I'm not sure there is anything that I have as a critique. So yeah, I mean, from sheer enjoyment value, it's not quite up there with a couple of the episodes that I've given like a full-on 5 out of 5 in this season. I can't honestly tell you why that is, because like I say, there's not really anything I can criticise. But just purely from how I feel about it, when we get to the end, I think I'm going to go with a 4.5 for this. 4.5 out of 5. For me, this may be one that gets bumped up to a full-on 5 on repeat viewings, I've got to say. So yeah, very good indeed. But what about you? Have you seen this episode? I'm guessing you probably have if you're watching this video. I can't imagine you starting at this point in this series if you've not seen this episode. So if so, what did you think about it? Comment below, let me know, and until next time, cracking.